Well, here we are, Chem's Amateur Hour. Let's see if we can get some authoring done today. Today we're going to work on a song called Night After Night by The Sounds. Special thanks to Tom Guy from the C3 forums for providing this excellent tempo map. I will be doing bass and guitar and 5-lane keys in the venue. Today, probably going to start out with bass, just because I like bass, and depending on the song, it can be the easiest instrument to author from ear. And there are no MIDIs for this song, as far as I know, anywhere, so we are going to be authoring it primarily by ear. There are some tricks that we can use to bring out the bass a little more. It doesn't really have that much problem hearing the bass, but I'll probably do it anyway just to make sure that I'm getting it right. First though, I'm just going to go ahead and play the song so that everybody knows what I'm doing. And then it might infuriate you less when I'm playing single parts over and over and over again to figure out what I'm trying to author in that section. So let's just start with that and go from there. Alright, well, there's the song. And as I said, I'm going to be starting out with bass probably. I'm a little rusty since I'm a little rusty working from by ear. The last couple songs I was lucky enough to get MIDIs for. I haven't released those yet, so if you watch my other stream, you might actually have caught some of those songs. But this one, gotta go by ear. Apparently the sounds are not popular enough to warrant MIDIs, so I gotta do it all by my own song. So, in order to bring out the bass a little bit, we're gonna add a limiter, or not the limiter, the monkey see, monkey read. Anyway, we're gonna add some FX here. The best one really is re-pitch, and then we just shift it up an octave. Every once in a while you get a song where you'll shift it up an octave and you still can't hear the bass, and it's weird. Those songs are really difficult when you're trying to do it by ear. In that case, we'd have to start using some equalizers, which I'm not an expert in, but it does help. We shouldn't have to do that in this song. We can pretty much pick out the bassing without shifting it up, but we'll see. I don't think I need any other ones right now. Let's listen to a segment and see how it sounds. This always bugs me. I'm always terrified that I'm going to accidentally move the audio by clicking on something, and then the tempo map will just be all out of whack and I'll never be able to save it without going back to an earlier version. So what I always do is I extend it back to 1, and then I can't move it. Or at least if I move it, I know where it has to go back to. So that's just one of my insecurities. Alright, so we'll bring out the bass track here. Only bring it down that far in order to get to that FX button. You can do it from the bottom panel too, but I usually have my my note chart there, so I can't see it. Some people like to chart with the with this part down here undocked. I do that sometimes, especially if I have a MIDI. I'll have like the MIDI down here and the note chart, you know, the Rock Band track up here, so that I don't usually cut and paste it because I really hate doing the whole quantizing part. So what I'll usually do is just look at it down here and then author it up here manually, separately. That way I know that all the notes are quantized. I don't have to worry about it later. And it's really only a problem, or it only takes more time if it's not quantized in the original MIDI, which it never is. So I figure I'm just doing it at a different time. Rather than copying all the notes over and then quantizing, I'm doing it at the same time. So that's just one of my, it's more of a long cut than a short cut, just because I'm not comfortable using the quantizer. So I'll usually do this, and then move this down so I can see that FX button. I don't care about anything else. I just want to be able to hit this so that I can bring up that Rock Band Network preview whenever I want to. That's my best way of telling whether the notes are on time or not. Sometimes I can do it just from the piano roll, but it's not quite as obvious. Like, I don't think I'll have something perfectly on time in the piano roll, and I'll look at it in the Rock Band, in the RBN preview, and be like, whoops, that was totally wrong. And it's usually just a byproduct of me not having a very good ear. Don't you all leave just because the author's like can't hear very well. I still try my hardest to make sure that the thing is mostly right, playable at least. All right, so let's do the thing that you're all here to see. Kem do his best to author a song for Rock Band. All right, let's close that. I don't keep stuff up all the time. Only when I need it. That's just me. All right, where's the bass start? Here at 3? Probably. So we pitched it up. All right, let's see how horrible it sounds. I would say that's pretty successful in bringing out that bass. All right. The way I like to author is measure by measure. No, it depends. This song seems to repeat the same lines over and over again. I'm not well versed enough in music notation to be able to say, oh yeah, you know, this part repeats over here, so I can just copy and paste it. But if I can see that it looks like the same thing I've already just done, then I'll just copy and paste it. This one should be relatively easy in that regard. It sounds like just first listen. To me, that sounds like a single note sustained over that measure. 2 measures. What do you guys think? All 9. And that means that the songster is wrong. Yes, I'm using a songster. There's no midis, but there's a songster. Whatever. I think it sounds higher than this 5 measure. But then it sounds like it goes back to that same note that was 3 and 4. So just eyeballing it right now, I'm just gonna put it on like a blue. Why is it green? Oh no, duh. Alright, here's something you have to do every time. Is change the color of the notes. And I have it bookmarked up here in Reaper. Data, color maps. Guitar bass. Boom, there. Every once in a while I get one and it won't change. I have no idea why. Usually if I copy and paste a MIDI chart into the Rock Band chart, and then it won't change color after that. I don't know why. But anyway, here's blue. Goes for that whole measure. Leave a little gap. And then it goes pretty low. We'll start at green. They look like 16th notes. I said that sounded the same, so I'm making this. Yes, I could just copy paste these over. In fact, I probably will do that. So I right click and drag, and then you can either hold control and just drag them. Boom. That's what authoring this song is going to be like, most likely. Lots of copy paste, but that's good from an authoring perspective, unless you like to be challenged. By the authoring process itself, which I don't. I mean, it's fun to chart, it's fun to play songs that are crazy different and difficult, maybe, if you like that kind of stuff. But it would take forever if every single measure is different when you're authoring it. So. Yes, I'm sure you've all guessed the reason why I'm taking long breaks without doing any charting is because I'm texting people. I shouldn't be. I'll put my phone away. I think I should cut this part out of the video when I post it later. Oh, maybe if I'm not lazy. All right, what does it do after that one? Sounds like it slowly goes back down to green again. So we can just, yeah. And then, yeah. And then, yeah. I think, right? Or was there only 2 in there? I don't know. What's this? 90% of charting, in my opinion, is just listening to a small segment of the song over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you think you know what it is, and then putting down little squares to represent it. So let's see. Nope, I'm wrong. That's not how it goes. But then you get the question, do I take out the green? Is this the same as that? No, I'm going to say no. Then it goes back high again. So those 2 verses are probably going to be exactly the same. I just got to figure out this part in the middle. I think I'm going to raise that up to orange. I don't know if it's higher than this blue. same to me. I might just take this up then. Let's just move all these up. But we said that that first line of blue was the same as that line that's now orange, so we're going to move that one up too, so it's just all the same. Because as I was listening to it a minute ago, it goes down pretty low. And I want to give myself as much room to descend without having to do a nonsensical rap later on. So it sounds like it just steadily goes. Alright, here's where my ear is always in question. Okay, so this one's definitely the highest one. Then this one. Lower. Yes? Now number 11 here. Is this higher or lower than 10? So, does the songster say anything? We'll measure my N10. And of course, for some reason, the songster does the intro to the original mix of this is the remix of the song. The songster does like 20 measures or so of the original version, and then it comes into the remix version. So it's hard to figure out what measure I'm on. If they start at 22 and I start at 3, then what? I'm on measure 19? No. 25? See, math is not my subject. Probably why I'm not good at musical notation. So if my measure 3 is their measure 22, then I'm on measure 29 here. So I'm 7 measures. Difference. I know that makes absolutely no sense. This is 29 on the songster. 9 and 10. So 9 being measure 28. Oh, here's another fun thing, is when the songster is at half the BPM. As my tempo map is. It sounds faster to me. So I'll probably leave it at this tempo map, 140. I can always have the beat track later in case the animations look all jittery. But for now I'm going to leave it at 140. Yeah, it looks really clean up there, doesn't it, the tempo map? But that's because the sounds usually use a click track. I've done another song by them, and it was so dead on, it only needed a single tempo marker at the beginning. So I'm not surprised. Anyway, it looks like I'm going to need some more math to try and figure out. Because each of my measures is 2 of the measures on the songster chart, so it's going to be fun. Okay, so it actually looks like I am in measure 20. Yeah, I just messed it up. Isn't it fun trying to figure this out? Okay, it looks like I'm in measure 26. So that obviously goes higher to lower, and then it goes back higher again. So that's what I thought. So if it goes lower again, how much lower? Well, I'm not gonna, I know there's another higher one on there, so I'm gonna start yellow for the moment. Put that one in blue. All right, now we gotta figure out if 10 and 12 are the same pitch or not, same note. That sounds lower to me, so I'm gonna put that at red. It's generally not a good idea, in my opinion, to create huge gaps unless you absolutely need to. Like putting this one at green or something, in case I have to put this one even lower. So try and keep them as close as possible unless I absolutely have to make them more different. But I don't. So I won't. All right, on to 13. And see, that's why, because 13 is lower than 12 is. And I left green open just for that purpose. Then it goes higher again at 14. Yes, I know it sounds like the Chipmunks, but you gotta get used to it if you're gonna be Charter. But luckily, bass is pretty easy, so it won't take you long. Well, depending on the song, bass is generally easier. It's a lot like this, a lot of the time. So I don't think this is as high as when it gets higher a little bit later. But I'll do it anyway. Put it at orange. And then it goes down twice as far as I can hear. Yeah. So I'll make it blue and then yellow. And then it goes back up to orange again. I think fairly certain. Oh, always do this. Save often. I save it. Usually I'll create a new version of it every time I do an instrument. So every time I start an instrument, I'll increment the version and then add a letter telling you what instrument I have on. I usually go in order. I usually do bass guitar, depending on which instruments I'm actually doing for that song. Drums would probably be first, then bass, then guitar, then all the other stuff. All right, so anyway, where was I? To me, that sounds exactly like this part here. So we're going to take all of this and I don't feel like zooming it out in order to click drag those, so I'm going to do the bad thing and just insert it here. People say that sometimes you get quantized errors when you copy it that way. I haven't seen it happen to me. Maybe I'm just lucky. So I'm 21 measures in. Well, 18 measures in. Should we go back and listen to it? Let's do it. Haha, missed something. Gotta do that first. Or you can hit home. So, not only did I learn that those seem okay to one of my limited hearing ability, it also seems like this next part also repeats. I mean, it may come to pass that the whole song just repeats, and that'll just make it a lot easier, which I like. Aha, see? It tricked us. Yes, it looks like there's another verse and then this thing, this little descending pattern there. So we should be able to copy paste that here. Listen. There, see? It looks like it does the thing where it goes high, a little bit lower, a little bit higher, but then it should on the fourth measure go a little bit lower again, but it doesn't. It stays as a higher one. So it looks like we can take these. That seems to be what happens next. And then this one looks like it just keeps going. So we're just going to control drag those. interesting. So it goes lower again. Pretty sure it just continues where it left off. Just adds an extra measure of that blue note in there. So it goes red, green. Then it goes back up slightly. Let's see if I can match that note. Is it the same as that red, or do I need to go to yellow? Yeah, I think I'm gonna at least go to yellow. Yeah, yellow sounds good. Okay, what does it do after that? Repeats. Why do I do that little flourish? I don't know. It's fun. That's why. Okay, that's interesting. So it looks like it starts out with the looks like it starts out with this pattern here, but then it does something fun, which is going to be not terribly fun to chart. All right, this is where I get depressed while authoring. Because these first three measures, we'll listen to them here, are exactly the same as they've been. These 43 measures. But then this one comes along, which is not the same. And I've only got 5 to work with, so what color do I make that one? Almost sounds like it goes back to yellow again. I'm pretty sure it does. There's no reason I have to take this measure because it goes all around anyway, but just for posterity. Which, yes, doesn't mean anything in that context, but whatever. So, oh yes, picture 45. Then it sounds like it picks back up again high. So it sounds like most of that is exactly the same as what I've just charted. But it also sounds like the chorus goes on a little bit longer. So, fun. All right, so where's the chorus end on this one? Obviously, we're still in the chorus because we got this double blue thing. I think it ends right here. Right here. So we're going to take all of this from the very first of this pattern here, which is back here. Not there, not there. So this is where I start taking big risks. If it sounds like it's the same as what I've just charted, I'll just take it all and plop it in there, and if it's wrong, I'll start over. It's still less work than it would be doing it from scratch. So let's see what we got. If I can find my way back to the beginning. There we go. See how accurate it turned out. Alright, so obviously that didn't work. Now I'm going to have to start doing a piecemeal. So I can just undo it. I could be smart and see how many measures it is before it hits the chorus again. So let's do that. So it starts at 61. Alright, so where do we start here? 45? 45 to 61. So I've got 16 measures worth of verse before it hits chorus again. So if I start here at 9, 16 measures from there is 25. Where am I at 25? Let's go ahead and take this one. I can't remember off the top of my head if I need that, the 25th measure or not. Technically, then I do need that, but I'm going to take it away anyway because it's going to be the same when I copy the actual chorus. Alright, so let's just double check. Okay, so that looks fine. I'm going to do a little more research first before I copy and paste in the chorus section. I want to see exactly how many measures it is in before it gets to the repeated measure, just so I know if I'm doing it right or not. Okay, so it's 64. It's only 4 measures in. So we'll go back to where the chorus starts, which is here. That looks right? That would be the 4th measure, 36. Alright, so where does the chorus end? It ends at 40. So I'm just going to take that. We'll see. If we're lucky, the chorus will just repeat twice, and then I can just copy paste it again. I'm fairly sure that it's longer than that is, so let's listen. so it's not the same. Because if it just repeated again, then this measure 72 would be the same as 71, and it's not. So what is it? Let's listen. It's quite different. Now, this first three sounds like this here. So I'm going to use that. Just make sure I'm on this right insertion point. Here. All right, but then it goes different again. Okay, so it sounds like it would go to the red, which would be normal for that section, but then it goes higher again. Okay, sounds like it does this one here. Maybe lower than that. We'll take it for now, just so at least I have the progression. Yeah. I'm going to bump this one all the way down to green. And that one to yellow. Because it sounds like it pops back up again after this. Alright, so that one is split. It goes 4, a little bit higher than 4, even more higher. So, is it this one? Yes, pretty sure. So I think it goes red, and then these are yellow. And then it goes back down again. I think. Well, you guys can weigh in. Does that sound higher or lower than those 4 yellow ones I just put in there? Check out the Songster tab if I can figure out the math to figure out what measure I'm on. If it's accurate, then I should see those 8 notes that are different right next to each other. But I don't. So either I'm hearing it wrong or they charted it wrong. Or it could be right here. Man, I can't be right. We've got that whole, both measures being the same thing before those, and only 3 being different, so I don't think that really works. I think that's just before this, or I mean, just after. So, looks like I am on my own. But it might be higher. It almost looks like they're telling me it's higher. And if it is higher, then I might have to go back to orange, even though it's not, doesn't seem objectively that high, but let's see how it goes, how many notes, or what the progression is after this measure. So it seems like it's the same note the entire way during this little instrument breakdown. The bass is left behind. It's like, you bass, just play the same note. And everybody else is doing other stuff. Obviously it's hard to hear them with it, that chipmunk like it is. But I'm going to go ahead and say that it's orange because it goes lower after this. And it doesn't really matter necessarily at this point because we're not playing the same phrase as we just got off of. And it does seem to be higher. I know my ear's not perfect, but I'm pretty sure this is higher than that yellow. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning and say it's that same note that we were playing back then, which is orange. So let's just take this green over there for now. Oops, don't want to do that. Alright, so there's orange. Yes, I'm not deaf. I noticed that little dipsy-do it starts doing after a while, so let's listen and figure out exactly what measure that happens on. 81. Alrighty then. So we can take this one over there. Now I have to figure out what that little dipsy-do is. It sounds like it just... a little hobo section here. Whoa. So what that means is that I have to change the grid because I can't put smaller notes in there. Let's try this one. Oops, you can tell I'm off. I'm just putting it in to test it, then I'll listen to it or watch it and see if that looks right. Of course, that is a hobo. Just for now, I'm going to copy this over and over and over and over and over and over. Maybe about 4 times or so, just so that I can... Yes, I could just loop that section, but that's more complicated than just press and undo a bunch of times, I think. Just to see if that's right. So here's another thing that you can try. Now for me, first I better tell you what it is. It's setting this playback rate slower. You can make sure that it keeps the pitch so that you're not getting goo, 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 goo. You don't want that because then you won't know what the hell's going on. But it doesn't help me as much, I don't think, because this tends to lag behind. And so try this one instead. Do you think it starts back here? Something like that? It does seem like that to me. Seems like it starts beforehand. Now, for my money, I heard a third note in there that I don't hear when it's slow. So we're gonna listen to it at full speed one last time, or one more time. Yeah, there's a way to get it back exactly, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So, can you just right click it and see? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so there is an easy way to do that. Just FYI. That seems okay. I don't know. I'm almost convinced that this goes here, not there. And that's what I'm talking about with it lagging behind. I mean, the whole point of listening to it slow, in my opinion, is not to see exactly where it lands, because as we just witnessed, it's impossible. But rather to pick out notes that you can't necessarily hear because there's so many of them right next to each other. Now this is really simple. Somebody with a more accomplished ear than I have would probably be able to be, oh, I know exactly what that is, but I'm not those kind of guys. I have to struggle at every one of those weird little dipsy-doos that comes along to bring my excellent charts to all of you wonderful people. So I'm gonna go with that. It just looks better, looks cleaner. Once we play it, that'll be a totally different story. We'll know whether it's right or not if we play it. Really, that's the litmus test for this kind of stuff. It can look perfect in here, but if you play it and it's like, whoa, that's not where it's supposed to be, that's where the buck stops. All right, speaking of things that stop, where does this stop? stop somewhere in here. 92. So I got about 8 measures left. How many do I have? 3. Well, that's perfect. I'm just going to take these 3. I have 4. No, I have 7. Yeah, if you're not stupid like me, you know how many you have. Alright, so that's 6. And I need 2 more. All that does is change the velocity if you accidentally do that, which is meaningless. If you check it over here, it'll be higher or lower, doesn't matter. None of that stuff goes into the magma project, so that's not a worry. It's just weird if I accidentally do it. I think that third note that I was hearing was this one. So it should all work out, but then here in the middle of measure 91, or is it measure 92? Alright, so there's one more. Alright, so somewhere here in the middle of measure 92, it goes crazy again, does something weird. Of course it goes higher, yay. So the problem is, what do I do? Now you're all probably thinking, Kem, just bump it down to blue. And I'm like, okay, if I do that, that's cool. And then I can have these notes be orange and it'll all work out until I get to 93, where it goes back to this. And then I have 2 oranges right after each other again. But they are the same note. So, but I can't just drop it back down, because after that I've got this. It goes down to green. Well, not this. This. It goes down to green. These are the parts that mess me up horribly when I'm charting. So there's a couple of options. I've done a bunch of customs. Like half of my customs aren't even listed under me. So I've done probably twice as many as I have if you look at my downloadable songs on the database. And yet I still have no idea what to do in these situations. From my limited experience, there's no manual that says, oh, if you run into a problem where you've already used all of your colors, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of, this easily repeating, beautiful pattern where you can use exactly 5 colors and it works out perfectly, then there's a random couple of notes that are off. Do this. There's no manual that says. So, gotta figure it out. Now, there's one where you'd wrap it down to green, and then no, that's probably not gonna work. I might do it if it's like a long section where it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher and higher. Then I might wrap it. But it's just 4 notes. And it'll probably never happen again in the whole rest of the song. I mean, I'm on measure 92. And the song only has 123 measures, if that. So, it'll probably never happen again. What do I do with those 4 stupid notes? Well, I could just take the easy way out and leave them as orange. But I don't really think that's the best way to go. Now, here's an option. It really depends on what the next segment is here. Let's listen. I might be able to work with that, because it looks like it goes into the chorus like here. But then I don't know. It almost would be easier if it went into this section, because then I could just make it. Or, I don't know, because I use all 4. I could bite the bullet and make it blue, yellow, blue here, which is what comes up next. I could just do it, in the entire song, just change all of those, and every time this one would come up, it would be weird because it's actually higher than this one, and yet they're both blue. I could wrap this whole thing somehow by having this one start as orange. Well, I can't really have it start as orange. Start at blue. Nah, that's way too complicated. Or I could just do it once. I can leave all this the way it is because it's so beautiful and it works out so well without these random 4 notes over here. I think it's only 3 notes. And I could change this part down to blue and then have these 3 notes here be orange and then drop just these 8 to blue and then count that kind of like as the end of this one and start over here and just go on as normal, and this is Las Vegas right here, and just pretend it never happened. Because it works out so well before that. Why would you change it? Well, the reason you change it is because of these 3 notes. Okay, so it sounds like it is 4 notes. Nope, it's 3 notes. Okay, so, yay, I get to go. This part is easy. Changing pitches of a giant swath is pretty easy. Oops, I gotta do these too. Crap. All this for those 3 notes. Alright, yay, this is blue now. Whew. I guess what I could do. Nope, I can't. Never mind. Alright, yay, just for those 3 stupid notes. And then I'm gonna make these blue, even though they're not blue. Yeah, it gets tricky now because I have it on 32. There. And then we'll just erase that from our brains that ever happened. And continue on with 94. It's gonna be a little weird, I know, because this is yellow and this one's blue again. But like I said, we're just gonna forget this ever happened. Okay, so all of these are blue. Yeah, I know. I should be copying and pasting this. Alright, so this is red. And this is green. Does that work out the same as back here where I get a double yellow after green? Yes, okay, let's take the double yellow. Yes, okay, so let's take that. No, we'll not do it quite yet. I want to see where it goes after that. Does it go into another verse? I'm right at the end of the song at that point. So this is very interesting. I think I might actually go back and cut and paste again. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so because it starts to do it again. You lost yet? I am. This is where it ends. Right towards the end there. But it has a second one of these things. So I'm going right back to the beginning. No, it's not doing it. I thought it doubled. Didn't it? See, this is where if you're lazy and like to cut and paste stuff a lot, you get into trouble. Maybe the first one doubles. Here's the first one. So it does blue and then yellow. No, it goes back to normal. Alright, well, here's the second one. Does that blue once, yellow once. It does not repeat. Okay. Well, I know this one's double yellow. I'm gonna have to do it by hand. Yes, it repeats, but I don't know how it repeats, and I don't feel like figuring that out first. So let's just do it one by one. Okay, so it sounds like it just does this again. Oops. I'm just going to take this whole thing and we'll see how it works. Yes, yes, yes. I know I have to do this. Bump that up to orange. So it's the same as the rest of the song except for Vegas. think it does this part here. Does it go lower first? I may be wrong. I may just be wishful thinking. Yes, it does. Okay, so we should be able to then start from here, take this all the way to that. Plop it in here. See where it goes. I think I'm going to make that orange. Because that's how it is in the whole rest of the song, except for the medium part that I had to, or the middle part that I had to Vegas-ize. We'll use it there. Save. So there. We just did an entire bass chart in, what, an hour and a half? Not bad. The best part about getting the bass chart done is that you can now do the pitch change and never have to worry about it ever again. So let's go ahead and listen to it without that on. Now, the easy way to get that off is just to hit this and turn off all effects. But I'm not going to do that because I don't think I'll need that one anymore, so I'm just going to do that. You could also just do that too, but then if I do need it back on, I can just click that instead of having to move the slider again. So we are going to save it, and we're going to preview it. I think it turned out rather well. Right. Oh, who's the pseudo-British guy who replaced Kemp? Well, I don't know. No, it's just me doing a stupid accent. Anyway, well, that's the bass chart. At this point, it's 5 o'clock my time. About 2 hours until my normal stream. I think I'm gonna. That seems like a good place to stop it. Thank me for joining me, since I'm the only one here. I'm gonna probably. I might continue this on Wednesday. We'll see. Then I'll probably work on the guitar chart. It seems pretty simple. Kind of like this. I just want to try something real quick. It's a neat little trick. It's not really a trick. It's a, if you know anything about digital audio editing, which I don't, I only know just enough so that I can use it to help me chart rock band songs. So one thing I'm gonna add now that'll help to pick out certain instruments is this center canceller. That is gonna help a lot. Let's just bump it all the way up to 100 and listen to a few bars to see how much that helps us. So just by listening to 47 seconds of it, or no, 47 measures of it, we've learned that canceling the center channel makes it sound really weird, like you're listening to it underwater, for one thing, but it also does the beautiful thing of isolating that guitar, and that's great, because otherwise, she's singing right over the top of the guitar 90% of the time. So that's going to make it really easy, really easy to chart all the guitar. I was worried there for a second when it was just the lead guitar that was coming through, but it's all of the guitar. That's fantastic. So that's cool. Yeah, that's going to help a lot. The other thing is that, well, it doesn't look like there's any actual keys in the song. Well, there might actually be some. I think it's a synth. I can't hear piano, but I might try some panning next time to see if I can pick it out. But if you can't hear it, why chart it, right? However, if you go back and listen and play one of the songs I made, the Rolling Stones, Let's Spend the Night Together, I could not hear the guitar. Cannot hear the guitar. until Nemo kindly isolated some instruments out of it for me, and then there's definitely a separate guitar and keys part in that song, and I couldn't hear it at all in the mixed version until after I listened to it separate. Now I can hear it in the mix. So I may just not be paying attention to it if it's in there. If it is in there and you're listening, let me know where you can hear it, and I'll try and pick it out. The only thing I can get are there's little. This sounds like a bell, like a little bell to me. And then there's a synth in the middle, which I'm going to chart on keys. So that's my plan. All right, so if I pick this up again on Wednesday, it's definitely going to be guitar. We're going to chart the guitar because that's just too helpful to not do it immediately. Seize the opportunity. But anyway, that's it for today. I will catch you all next time on Chem's Amateur Hour.